provide for you.
Amen.
Be informed that this man's intentions were selfish, self-centered, and self-serving. Nevertheless, he purposed that this is what he was going to do, and it sure enough seemed good unto him. The reality of this story is that he died before he got a chance to do any of what he wanted to do. And the application tonight is you just might as well. So don't put off for tomorrow what you could really do today. Let's look at the story as Jesus paints a picture here, saying that the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, he wasn't expecting to come up what came up. So he has this dilemma. And so he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with all this extra that has come up that he didn't expect to come up. So he thought within himself saying, what should I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruit. And he said, this is what I do. I've got an idea here. I'll pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and goods. I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. God said unto him, thou fool. Notice God had different plans than what he had. Amen up in here tonight. Whenever you making plans for your life, you better make sure that God is included in those plans for your life.
Amen.
If your plan don't match up with God's plan, your plan ain't gonna happen no how. God is in control of your life. And if God does not see fit to allow you to have the fruit of your labor, you're not gonna have it no matter how much fruit you have. His intentions were not God's intentions for his life. And so God called him a fool. Said, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? That's a serious question. Everything that you've laid up and stored up, once I remove you from them, who gonna have them then? The Lord gives us the application of this when he says, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Let's look at this man's intentions. First of all, he intended to secure what he had. Verse number 17 says, he thought within himself, what shall I do? I have no room where to bestow my fruit. He wanted to secure what he had. He came up with a way to secure. He wanted a certainty of a guarantee that what he had was not going to leave him. How foolish it was of him to think that he could have something in this fleeting moment of life that would stay with him as long as he was here. The reality of life is that things come and things go. Seasons come and seasons go. Materials come, but materials go. There's nothing you can have in this life that you can absolutely secure for yourself. Your job ain't even 100% secure. There's nothing that you have. There's nothing that you can possess. There's nothing that's within your grasp that's absolutely yours. One of the foolish mistakes that this man made was that he thought that he could secure what he had. Unless God secures it for you, it's not secured at all. Intention number two. Not only did he seek to secure what he had, but he intended to store it up in a means of security. In verse 18, I'll pull down my barns, build greater, and there will I bestow or store up all my fruits and goods. Brothers and sisters and visiting friends, don't ever store up anything here on this earth. Matthew chapter 6 and beginning at verse 19, the Lord warns us about storing up stuff on this earth. Laying out for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. See how unsecure your stuff is? Even if it's in the closet, the Lord said the moth will get it in the closet. If you lock it up in the backyard behind the gate, Jesus said rust will get it behind the gate. If you lock it up behind a wrought iron door in your house, a thief still knows the way to get in your house. Ain't nothing safe on this earth. So Jesus says, don't you have your treasures in an insecure place. As long as your treasure is here on earth, that's where your heart gonna be. Because where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. So the Lord said, lay up your treasure in heaven. Oh, ain't no moth in heaven. Ain't no rust in heaven. Sure enough, ain't no thief gonna be in heaven. Jesus said, if you really want to secure something, make sure that you lay it up above. As if you lay it up with God, it'll be there when you get there. Ain't that wonderful? To know that there is a place that I have some security. It might not be down here on this earth, but I can sure enough depend on it being with God. So don't lay up anything on this earth. Because what's on this earth is fleeting and going to leave you. 1 Timothy chapter 6, beginning at verse number 6, the Apostle Paul laid down the undeniable fact that godliness with contentment is great gain. We brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Once again, don't ever store up anything on this earth. This man's intentions were to secure what he had. He intended to store up what he had. Then he intended to satisfy his soul with what he had. When you look back at our text, in verse number 19, the man says, once he has secured and once he has stored up, he will say to his soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. Only thing, my brothers and sisters, that satisfied this particular fellow here in the text was having more than he should have had, and then laying it up in such a stingy way. He was going to keep it all to himself for years and years to come. This man did not think about the reality that there's somebody who could benefit from what I have bestowed. It was all about him and what he wanted to do. He had intended to satisfy his soul with something that wasn't intended to satisfy the soul. Because in reality, the only thing that really satisfies us completely and totally is what God has actually given unto us. It's only what God has provided that has the ability to satisfy us completely. As a matter of fact, when you look back at 1 Timothy chapter 6 and beginning at verse number 11, in 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse number 11, the Apostle Paul says, but thou, O man of God, flee these things, these worldly or these carnal things, these worldly, fleshly, and material things. Paul said, oh man of God, flee these things. Run away from the mindset that material desire